Module 6 Restructured video on more solving equations. So for this problem that was presented is 8 equals the cube root of negative 2x minus 7. So after that quantity, it's plus 5. So I'm starting by listing out my operations to solve this. So the first operation that's being basically performed on this x would be times negative 2. I'm going to write these out in step order. So first I'm really focusing on the operations that are being performed, and then I'm going to go find the inverse operations in order to solve for x. So the next thing that's happening here is there's a minus 7. So I have times negative 2 minus 7, and the cube root is being found. So cube root. And then I have plus 5 at the end, so addition at the end. So now I'm going to go backward here to basically say the inverse operations and what I would be performing on this 8 here in order to basically solve for x. So originally when I wrote this, I on paper actually wrote out minus 5, but then I remembered some comments from the first video, how I really have to make sure I'm making that plus a negative 5. So I'm doing plus negative 5 here. I'm actually changing my original work in order to make sure I'm catching my mistakes here or making it a little more clear. Then I have it to the power of 3, because it's the inverse of cube root. Let's write that a little nicer. Okay. And the next one is a minus 7, or I could even go over here and say, let's just actually make that plus negative 7. So I'm going to say now it's just plus 7. So I went back, kind of squeezing these parentheses, make it plus negative 7. So I have plus 7. The last one I have times negative 2, the inverse. So originally I was going to put divided by negative 2, but instead I'm going to say, to keep it multiplication, times negative 1/2. So using our inverse properties, I really need to make sure I'm keeping these in multiplication and addition form in order to make my my 1 pairs here with the multiplication, or my 0 pairs here with the addition. Saying that these properties don't really apply to subtraction. I have to really make sure I keep it in addition and multiplication. So that was one point I really wanted to focus on, since I really was, trying to focus on those comments from the first video in this this module. So now I'm going to go ahead and take this 8, and I'm going to go in like a purple here. Do these operations with the 8, these inverse operations starting down here with the plus negative 5, so I can find my answer, my solution for x. So 8 plus negative 5 is going to come out to 3 equals 3. Okay. Now I have to go, so the next one's going to be to the power of 3, or the cubed. So 3 to the power of 3, or 3 cubed. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 again is 27. Now I have 27. I'm going to do 27, and now I'm adding 7. Plus 7 equals 34. All right, I have 34. I'm going to take 34 times, instead of dividing by 2, once again, I'm doing times negative 1/2. I'm really trying to focus on my terminology and my signs, my operations here. I'm going to get negative 17. So now I'm saying x equals negative 17. All right, so I have my my solution here. X equals negative 17. I'm going to kind of make this look nice here. I'm going to go back here and just quickly substitute with negative 17. So I have Negative 2 times negative 17 would be 34, minus 7, which is going to be 27. Find the cube root of that would be 3, and plus 5 would be 8. So therefore, the solution is x equals negative 17. I was able to use my, first identify my operations being used, then find the inverse operations, find my zeros and ones pairs. Something well, I mean, I know we've been kind of moving away from using this word, but one thing is that both finding zero pairs and one pairs is often kind of previously, you kind of use the term canceled out, which is, like I said, was something we're trying to get away from. But there's the multiplication here, multiplication of the inverse, addition of the inverse, making the one pair or the zero pair respectively. So that's going to help me use my inverse operations to solve for x. And like I mentioned previously in my last video, also this is very relevant to what I am teaching in Algebra 1 right now. So I'm really happy that we did this module, because this is basically a method that I didn't particularly think of or know of. So yeah, that was my Module 6 Restructured.